Once upon a time, there were two dudes, Leon Belmont and Matthias Kronfist, and their company of knights never lost a fight because Leon was real strong and Matthias was big brain. But then Matthias' wife died and he got really depressed, so Leon had to carry on the genocide alone. But then some freaky monsters appear in Leon's domain. Can I kill them? No. Please? No. Please? No. Please? No. Yo, some vampire named Walter stole your girl. Real talk? Yeah, screw you, church, I'm out. Hold it, you ain't killing nothing with that weak-looking sword. Here, take this magical whip. Thanks. So Leon whips the crap out of 5 guardians against the Walter. Whoops, seems he already bit Sarah. Here, you can have her back, I already sucked her up. Meanwhile, back at Ronaldo's house, Sarah's turning into a vampire. So she decides she's screwed anyway and volunteers to be flogged. So the magical whip can become the vampire killer. And she can prevent other people from ending up like her. Now Leon can kick Walter's butt for sucking up his girl. Turns out Matthias is behind the whole thing because he was pissed at God for letting his wife die. So he decided to become immortal as a big F you to God. This pisses off Leon so much that he devotes his entire bloodline to killing Matthias. In the meantime, Matthias met a chick named Lisa, who was a lot like his old wife, so they have a half-vampire baby named Adrian. Then Lisa gets burned at the stake because people thought she was a witch, which pisses off Matthias so much that he changes his name to Dracula and promises to destroy humanity. Meanwhile, this kid named Hector was getting bullied because he liked animals. Hey kid, wanna learn how to make demons?
You betcha!
So Hector learns how to make demons and Dracula uses the demons to kill people. Okay, this is not what I signed up for. Bye! So then Hector finds a chick named Rosalie and they vibe together for a while. But then Rosalie gets burned at the stake because they thought she was a witch. Poor Hector just can't catch a break. So then Dracula launches his attack on humanity, and the armies are getting whipped so bad they call the Belmont family, who they exiled for being too strong. So Trevor Belmont, along with his buddies Grant, Sypha, and Adrian, now named Alucard, which is Dracula in reverse, because my dad is kind of a jerk and I'm not about that life, stop Dracula for the time being. Afterwards, Trevor and Sypha hook up and Alucard goes to bed for like 300 years because he feels bad about killing his dad. Make up your mind, Adrian. Dracula was killed, but he left a curse on Wallachia, making everyone go crazy. Hector's trying to get his get back for Rosalie, and Trevor's trying to find out why everyone's losing it. Along the way, Hector meets Zed, aka Not Death, and Trevor, who doesn't really like him because he used to make demons, but eventually he decides, you ain't so bad, and helps Hector find Isaac, another guy who makes demons who hates Hector because Dracula used to like him better. So the two fight, and Hector wins, and Not Death gets really pissed because he wanted to use Hector's body to revive Dracula. Oh well, Isaac will have to do, but because Isaac has been slacking on his workout routine, Hector slacks Dracula back to hell without much issue. At this point, Dracula is said to come back every 100 years or so. We'll see how well that plays out. 100 years later, it's about that time again. This time it's Christopher Belmont who wagons his whip at Drac, but Drac steals his son Soleil and tries to turn him against his dad. Didn't work though. Another 100-ish years pass, and this time it's our holy water spamming boy Simon. He's really excited for Dracula to come back so he can show that he's really him. Too bad he was too reckless during the fight and got a curse placed on him that'll kill him in like 7 years. Man, I really fricked up back there. Not how I expected to go out. You know, you can just burn Dracula's parts to get rid of the curse, right? Real talk? Okay then, so Simon travels across Transylvania, gets Dracula's parts and roasts them to 160 degrees Fahrenheit until golden brown and gets rid of the curse. His great-grandson Juice had really crazy magic powers thanks to great-grandmommy Sypha. This makes his buddy Maxim jealous, so he goes after Dracula's parts so he can kill him and prove that Juice is not him. But he gets possessed and kidnaps their friend Liddy to sacrifice to revive Dracula. But Juice tells him to get over himself, slaps the ghost of Dracula and gets the girl. All in a day's work. That didn't work out too well for you, did it, Maxim? Maybe stop watching so many Andrew Tate highlight reels. Drac is back already? It hasn't even been 100 years yet, jeez. Good thing Richter Belmont is on the case, he's probably the swollest Belmont yet. On his way to get his girlfriend back, he meets a kid named Maria who's even more swole than he is. And together they rescue the maidens and slap Dracula for being naughty yet again. 5 years later, Richter is MIA. Alucard senses a disturbance in the force and wakes up. Alucard and Maria both search for Richter, only to find he's been possessed by the great peepee head shaft. Alucard slaps some sense back into him though. Oh hi dad. Bye dad. I'm gonna go back to bed now, see ya. Well shoot, thanks to Richter's shenanigans, the Belmont family is cursed and they can't use the vampire killer. Other organizations like Ecclesia popped up to pick up the vampire hunting slack. They use glyphs to kill vampires. Shanoa was going to be the vessel for Dominus, a set of really swole glyphs, but her adoptive brother Albus steals them to stop her from dying, because Dominus will do that to you. Turns out Ecclesia's goal was actually to revive Dracula. Shanoa uses Dominus to kill him and Albus volunteers to be the vessel. Dang, what a good bro. And Quincy Morris kills Dracula, but turns out he had a son named John, and he has a vampire killer for some reason. Looks like history class was wrong. This vampire chick Elizabeth Bartley did World War I to resurrect her uncle Dracula. So John and his buddy Eric travel across Europe to cut that crap out. Well, turns out you're not allowed to use a vampire killer if you're not a Belmont. So John died 2 years later and told Eric not to teach his son Jonathan to use the whip so he doesn't end up like him. Eric went on to have 2 daughters, Stella and Loretta, but some vampire named Bronner wanted to inherit Castlevania for himself and needed replacement daughters for the ones who died during World War I. So he kills Eric and brainwashes his kids into thinking he's their dad, but he's not. Woogie woogie woogie. Later, Jonathan and his not girlfriends, Charlotte, no seriously, they're strictly platonic, go to investigate. Jonathan hates his dad for not teaching him how to use the vampire killer, but they managed to unbrainwash Stella and Loretta and broke the curse on the Belmont family so he could use it without freaking himself up. Dracula is not not gonna let some random vampire take his castle, so he uses Bronner to come back. But Jonathan and Charlotte ain't having none of that. After that, Jonathan travels the world to return the vampire killer to the Belmonts and eventually finds the latest Belmont, Julius, and gives it back to him. Oh, and Alucard is up and about again. I had a great idea. Why don't we seal my dad's castle in an eclipse so he stops coming back? Okay, so they did just that. But Julius got bumped in the process. Ow, my head. So now Dracula is dead for good, and Soma Cruz and his not-girlfriend Mina go to watch an eclipse and end up in Castlevania. There he meets Alucard, who changed his name yet again, Yoko Belnades, Jay, he forgot his name, and Graham Cracker Jones, who wants to inherit Dracula's powers. When do we tell him? Turns out Soma is the reincarnation of Dracula. But I don't want to be Dracula, Soma said. So he destroys the power of chaos and doesn't become Dracula. A cult isn't too happy about that though, so they try to kill Soma to get his Dracula powers and pass them on to one of these two losers. When that doesn't work, they try to trick Soma into thinking Mina died, you know, just like with Elizabetha and Lisa. But that doesn't work either. Then one of them freaking explodes into a giant demon. After dealing with that, they realize that maybe someone will come along to erase Dracula one day, but it don't gotta be Soma. There are other games in the timeline and there's a Netflix series and stuff, but those aren't canon. Happy Halloween!